Sneak peeks for Builder Base 2.0 finally begin. We have a new hero machine alongside troop abilities and Otto's Outpost alongside so much more. So we're going to be going through all of it, so let's start with the newest hero machine, the Copter. It is unlocked at Builder Hall 8 for 2,500,000 Builder Elixir. What is really nice about it is once you place it down, it will be at level 15 instantly. This means you don't have to wait any longer for any hero levels at level 1 all the way to level 15 or something. You can get this at level 15, which is going to help your progression and help you get to your 6th builder when you reach Builder Hall 9. Now the stats for the Copter, it is going to be minus 10% damage per second for the Copter. However, that damage is going to its special ability, which is Bomb Rush. It means it will charge in and throw out a bomb. However, the strength of it is going to depend on the hero machine's charge level. Now, charge levels for the heroes are a bit different. This means that you are going to get 3 different tiers based on which charge it is at. At the first charge, it's going to deal a decent amount of damage, but a low amount of health recovery. If you increase the charge to the second bar, it's going to deal more damage, and it has more HP recovered alongside hitting possibly more targets. And the same is true at the third tier or the third bar. It will then deal a massive amount of damage alongside hitting multiple targets and healing a lot of HP. This means that there is a risk versus reward system with abilities and weighting. So you will want to protect either your battle machine or your new Copter to get the most out of them and use their really strong charge level 3. Now what's really cool about having 2 hero machines is you don't just have one the entire attack. You can actually switch between both heroes. So let's say you want to use the Copter on the first phase. Well, you're able to do so. Now keep in mind is that if you have 2 heroes and one of your hero machines dies on the first phase, it will instantly move to the second hero machine for you. This means that you always have a hero no matter if your hero machine dies. Just keep in mind that sometimes it might not be ideal for you to have a very specific hero machine, because it might not be what you wanted to use. Now, while that's everything on the newest hero machine, the Copter, we also have troop abilities, which is one of the selling points of Builder Base 2.0. However, there are 2 different kinds of abilities. Passive abilities that some regular troops have, alongside trigger abilities, which can either be a one-time use or multi-use. Now, not every troop has a trigger ability. Some just have a passive ability. This includes the Rage Barbarian, Sneaky Archer, Beta Minion, and even the Hog Glider. These are the same as Builder Base 1.0, including the Rage Barbarian with a rage effect, Sneaky Archers being invisible for a couple seconds, Beta Minions being able to hit faster, and of course have range for their first couple shots, and the Hog Glider being able to stun a building for a couple seconds. Now, while some troops only have a passive ability, some have a trigger ability, and some even have both. Case in point, the Boxer Giant is one of those. While having a passive ability that allows its first hit to deal massive damage, it also has the special ability which allows it to block all damage. It's invincible for a couple seconds. This means that as you upgrade it, that ability gets stronger, and by that point, it's going to tank a lot. It's going to be a very useful ability, especially for a lot of different attacks. For the Bomber, one of the bigger winners of the abilities is it has a multi-use ability. This allows you to throw a bouncing bomb that will deal damage alongside bounce twice. Think of them like the Super Bowler or the regular bowler. But what's cool is it will instantly destroy walls, and of course, it will deal a lot of damage to multiple buildings as they go across. So make sure you have a tank in front of them because there's a chance giants and bombers could be meta. Baby dragons also have a one-time use ability alongside their passive. This passive ability is what baby dragons are always known for, their tantrum. This rages them up in dealing more damage. This also includes their ability, which can deal a set amount of damage to multiple buildings in a cone shape. And if they're spaced apart, this will deal extra damage thanks to their tantrum ability. So there is a chance that mass baby dragon spam could be viable. The cannon cart is pretty much widely known now to have the change mode ability. This is a multi-use ability and it has a cooldown of basically less than a second, meaning that you can instantly change it on the fly. The difference here is that it is much stronger in its cannon form than it is at mortar form. But it does hit pretty quick, so that's kind of not really a huge factor. But otherwise, the cannon cart itself is still going to be a relatively strong unit and can also create the funnel for you. Just you might time fail with it if you're just trying to use it for the mortar mode. Truth be told, Night Witch got the best buff it honestly could have ever gotten for builder base. This is going to be Bat Swarm. It will spawn a certain number of bats that will be raged up. This means that they're going to do extra damage, and of course, they are going to swarm in on defenses. While this isn't going to be great for splash damage defenses like the Roaster and the air bombs, this is perfect at getting through defenses like the Archer Towers or the Firecrackers that can't really deal with the bats as quickly. So this is a huge buff to the Night Witch, and Mass Night Witch could be pretty solid at some builder hall levels. Similar to all the other units we talked about, the dropship is also getting a one-time ability, which is going to be dropping a bomb with skeletons. This is a really nice ability since it can deal a lot of damage and spawn distraction skeletons, which is really good. It will pretty much be able to help weaken key defenses, which is really good and can help the battle machine or other troops that you bring. So it's a really good ability, but keep in mind it doesn't have a passive ability that drops off the skeletons upon its death. The Power Pekka is next, and unfortunately, for Builder Base 2.0, it actually has its stats decreased, not being as tanky as what it was before. However, the Power Pekka makes up for that for dealing massive damage, not just with its swings, but with its ability, with its one-time ability, Overcharged, which whenever it stomps the ground, it's going to do massive damage. This is a huge game changer and can be really, really good in a very specific situation, especially if you're going into the core and there's a lot of key defenses. Now, for the multi-stage attacking, as far as troops go, you will not be able to use abilities in the second phase if you already used them in the first. However, if you didn't use them in the first, then you will have them still in the second. Any dead troops are going to stay dead and you won't be able to use them again. However, you do get reinforcement troops in the second phase, and depending on the amount of reinforcement camps you have, you will be able to have more reinforcements to use to cover some of your lost troops. Now, that brings me over to Otto's Outpost. This is something that we already know thanks to a lot of dev blogs, but this is unlocked at Builder Hall 6. It will spawn zappies upon its destruction, which can be pretty good or pretty bad, but it will also be able to unlock for you instantly the reinforcement camp. You pretty much get troops that you can use as reinforcement on the second phase. So if you lost any troops that you really desperately needed, well, you get those troops back and you have abilities for them. So they're basically fresh troops for you. Alongside this though, you have the healing hut. As you go between phase 1 to phase 2, you will have some sort of healing on any of your leftover troops, depending on the level of your healing hut, and it will recover more % of your troops' HP. So you will want to upgrade this as you're going across Builder Hall, since you want to make sure that you're getting some good health and healing back for that second phase, where it could be really important. And of course, something that you may have noticed is that Builder Base walls are no longer 5 segments. So instead of having a box base, you can now have very flexible types of designs, and even have some that mirror what we have on the home village. Now, with Otto's Outpost being available at Builder Hall 6, you will have to worry about your base. Don't worry, for those of you between level 1 and Builder Hall 5, don't actually need to worry about their bases. Pretty much, you don't have that second stage until Builder Hall 6. This is where you are limited to the amount of defenses, walls, and traps you're able to place per stage. As an example, at Builder Hall 10, per stage you can only fit 14 defenses, 100 walls, and 12 traps. This is going to be a lot lower between Builder Hall 6 and Builder Hall 10, and that should allow you to at least have some sort of flexibility with both of them. Keep in mind though that sometimes you might have all your key defenses on one side while having very minimal on the other, so you can really focus on defending the 3-star on phase 1. Now, that was a lot to talk about. Hopefully, a lot of this is easy to take in, so make sure you guys subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more sneak peeks and follow along with yours truly. Also, since the Builder Base Bonanza is still going on, make sure you use my creator code, CORRUPT. It's a great way to support me and the channel and everything I do. So, I will see you in Builder Base 2.0 Sneak Peek 2.